If you were any better, there'd be two of you.
This week on isletunes, it's more past than present with borderline vintage tracks from Catherine MacLellan, Gordon Belsher, Allan, Rankin, and Jive Kings, yet not skipping the 2020s via Nadia and Russell Louder. Yous ready, PEI? Let's get her done! Hello, Prince Edward Island. I am your host, Adam Michael James, and you are listening to isletunes for the week of May 26th, 2024. Thanks God for heat pumps that serve as AC. If society as a whole ignores the chronological line between spring and summer, with this weekend marking the unofficial crossing of that line, Mère Nature sure has been ignoring it as well with the heat and humidity we've been having up in here. Look at how the leaves on the trees have popped out, and the flowers, and the weeds. Don't forget the weeds, dagnabbit. So I guess it's fitting that I've got a hot lineup of island music for you, and half of it is 15 to 20 years old. I don't really pick these playlists. The Muse does, and the Muse felt like dipping into PEI's musical before times for this installment. And like I always say, I never argue with the Muse. Don't worry, there's some stuff from this decade too, just not this year. Or last year. Because it worked out like that. Aren't you the lucky one? The lady we're going to start out with is lucky only in that she happens to carry the DNA of a Canadian legend. Not that she wouldn't have become a legend in her own right without it. Hailing from Summerside, she got her stage feet wet performing with a group called the New Drifts. But it wasn't long before she started working on some solo stuff. Her first album was released independently 20 years ago this year. However, it was in 2007 that she blew up and found ECMA, Juno, and Canadian Folk Music Awards sitting on her mantle. Have you pieced it together yet? I'm talking about Catherine MacLellan, whose dad was, of course, Gene MacLellan, the first Canadian lyricist to have a song broadcast over 1 million times in the U.S. Catherine's not exactly a slouch herself. In 2017, she created a show honoring her father, which has been described as part theater, part island music history lesson, and part mental health awareness campaign. Just so happens she released a Gene MacLellan tribute album alongside it. It's her independent work I'm interested in here at the moment, in particular her 2006 Church Bell Blues album, which was re-released in 2007 as her first official CD with True North Records. From that collection here on isletunes, this is Long Time, which just happens to be a good description of the length of her career. Happy 20th anniversary, Catherine! Did y'all know China is the 20th anniversary present? On my budget, though, I hope Catherine will settle for some mismatched plates from Value Village.
Scattered amongst these rooms and marked with pen other passages than that you felt spoke the truth. I could use you now to guide me somehow, walk me down that aisle, but I will not be the first to miss giving birth. This will be your 7th grandchild. It's been a long time. It's been a long got your old 45s on the turntable while I go thumbing through those pages of old photographs of days we can't get back. Still, people sing your praises. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Wish you could meet all the ones that we've lost. Still they see you through the past. But I cannot describe just the way that you smiled, or the beauty of your laugh. No, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Petit oiseau, j'aimerais m'envoler très haut, planer, flotter, m'évader. Avec toi pour une journée, ouvrir mes ailes et m'envoler avec toi pour l'éternité. Je veux ouvrir mes ailes et trouver ce trésor caché, celui que j'ai tant cherché. Ma liberté. Sans toi à mes côtés, je suis incapable de voler. Je suis fragile et malhabile. Année après année, j'ai tenté de te trouver dans tous les coins du monde entier. Je veux ouvrir mes ailes et trouver ce trésor caché, celui que j'ai tant cherché. Ma liberté. Au creux de ma main, c'est là que je te tiens. C'est là que je t'appartiens. Ensemble on pourra passer plein de vie à rêver. Ensemble pour l'éternité. Je veux ouvrir mes ailes et trouver ce trésor caché, celui que j'ai tant cherché. J'ai ouvert mes ailes pour te trouver. J'ai tant cherché ma liberté. J'ai ouvert mes ailes pour te trouver. J'ai tant cherché ma liberté. Je t'ai trouvé.
That is Christian Gallant on iTunes with Je t'ai trouvé, a cut from his 2005 album Tempête. Half of his album is in French and the other half is in English, with the bulk of it recorded in Summerside, though one of the English songs was recorded in Stephenville, Newfoundland, where he graduated the music industry and performance program at that city's College of the North Atlantic. Christian is also the artistic director of the Mont Carmel Summer Concert Series, which celebrates Acadian, traditional, and contemporary music. This year, the Sunday night series kicks off July 7th and plays through August 25th, of course, in Mont Carmel. The year was 1999. No, not as described by Prince, but as experienced on PEI, where Islanders were about to be swung by the Swing Kings. See, they were preparing to bring the 1930s and 1940s sounds of big band to the island, which wasn't really a thing here. Then one day they discovered that the name Swing Kings was already taken and, rebranding, the Jive Kings were born. The name was different, but the groove was solid, and their first album, Spoon for a Knife, picked up an ECMA award for Jazz Artist of the Year in 2000. Sit on their laurels? Hell no, Daddy-O. They went right back into the studio and recruited noted soprano Miasha Brucher-Gosman to feature on some of their new tracks. I guess you could say she made them want to jive. And what do you know? That's the title of this offering, which, ironically, she's not on, but it's still the one that made my toes tap the most. From the 2000 album Jive Kings with Miasha Brucher-Gosman, this is She Made Me Wanna Jive on iTunes, the hippest podcast around.
Back in 1939, I hung out with these friends of mine, the hippest guys you'd ever see, too cool to dance, too cool for tea. We'd hang out at this club each night to drink and smoke and sometimes fight. We stayed away from the dancing crowd in our little gang, it just wasn't allowed. Then one night this chick came in, she was blonde and pretty, tall and thin. She hit the dance floor with a dive. The guy said no, but she made me wanna jive. She made me wanna jive. First I couldn't find the beat, it felt like I had 3 left feet. I knew I wouldn't have much time to catch the groove so I could make her mine. Then I realized with a grin the natural I must have been, 'cause all at once my feet could fly, and that was when I caught her eye. She grabbed my hands and swung around. Sometimes her feet didn't touch the ground, but the guys cut in there like a knife. Pulled me awake, she made me wanna jive. She made me wanna jive. They took me out and gave me hell. They said that just weren't too swell. In our gang you must be cool. You can't defy our old school rule to never dance and never swing, never jive or do that thing. If you want to be our man, never ever dance again. Back inside the girl had found another guy to swing around. She left with him at 5:30. Broke my heart 'cause she made me wanna jive. She made me wanna jive. She made me wanna jive.
The Jive Kings, She Made Me Wanna Jive on iTunes. Did this make you wanna jive? You know it did. I saw your feet moving. Remember how I said the Kings' first album from the previous year got crowned for Jazz Artist of the Year? This second album took home a second trophy in the same category in 2001. See? It all ties together. Coming up, Nadia will leave you mesmerized. Russell Louder sings about being an outsider. And if you're bumping over rough pavement this spring, Allan Rankin knows what you're talking about. Historically, yeah, our roads are notoriously bumpy, and let's face it, the roads that got us here from where we were haven't always been smooth either. Because it's good to acknowledge both, how about we get to doing that with This Week in PEI History? May 26, 1894, the Daily Examiner reported that a tree planting was in progress on Lower Great George Street that day, and that phonograph entertainment in the Philharmonic Hall the previous evening was thoroughly enjoyed by those present. May 28, 1879, the Daily Examiner explained that the previous day, a resolution was introduced in the House of Assembly to reduce freight and passenger fares on the PE Island Railway. The paper deemed it irregular and impolitic, but conceded it was a way for people to vent their grievances about the price of taking the train. Though the growing feeling was that lower fares would increase traffic without affecting revenue, the complaints were apparently laughed off. See, it's not just the Confederation Bridge, is it? May 30th, 1958, The Guardian announced that the annual nurses' graduation dance sponsored by the PEI Hospital Nurses alumni was held at the YMCA the preceding evening, with 200 couples in attendance and music by Harold McRae's orchestra. June 2nd, 1933, the Charlottetown Guardian reported that a lobster boat with 2 men aboard had been swept out to sea at Waterford, 6 miles from Tignish. Canada wasn't using the metric system then. Both men were feared drowned. June 2nd, 1949, the Guardian of the Gulf, love all these name changes, told the public that the Victoria Players would present their 3-act play, Aunt Tilly Goes to Sea, at Long Creek Hall the following evening.
I'm Yannick from Magnolia.
And I'm Denis from Magnolia, and you're listening to isletunes.
Dear one, the night's begun, the day has hung her hat. The dog is tucked beneath his tail, and I've let in the cat. Sweetheart, butter tart, the cherry in the pie. If you will brave the stairs with me, I'll sing a lullaby. The moon can't help it if she smiles. The sky's her valentine. Tomorrow dreams a golden sun, but the sweetest dreams are mine. The crows sleep well in Brighton. They dream of shiny things, and I sleep well beneath them as my dear one softly sings. Dream away, sweet as hay. Our bed's a carpet ride. Spread your arms across the sky and wrap me up inside. Hold tight all the night. Paint the stars with joy. I'm the girl that's meant for you, and you're my only boy. The moon can't sweetest dreams are mine. The crows sleep well in Brighton. They dream of shiny things, and I sleep well beneath them as my dear one softly sings.
That is Jelaine Molnar with Brighton Lullaby from her 2005 album Lullabies for a Sleepless World on iTunes. This is one of 2 tracks on the CD whose music was co-written by Mike Ross, the lead vocalist for the Jive Kings, whose song was the one before this. Not that I planned the connection, but I love when stuff comes together like that. In the liner notes, Jelaine says that not all the songs presented are considered lullabies, but they fit as past and present pieces of my strangely eclectic musical life. Eclectic and prolific. In addition to doing theater for 3 decades, including at the Shaw Festival in Ontario, Jelaine is the co-creator of the Good Time Radio Variety Show, an original modern version of a classic radio variety show with PEI themes. And lest you think any of that material is cheese, Jelaine's latest venture isn't. She's the founder of Fresh Start Fromage, a line of dairy-free cheese products that you can find at the Root Cellar, among other local places. I did promise you some tunage from this decade, didn't I? Well, fine, be like that. I think you'll be mesmerized by this certain selection. Nadia calls Charlottetown her hometown, and if her music had a hometown, it would be the city limits of R&B. Her bio says that she evokes Sade and Ariana Grande in her music, and I'd be hard-pressed to disagree with that. In 2023, her collab with Vince the Messenger called Off the High got the high praise of a Music PEI nomination. And this year, her slow burn cut Intertwine not only picked up its own nomination for R&B Soul Recording of the Year, it took home the award for Music Video of the Year. I'd like to reach back before all that and hit you with an earlier release of hers that already showed all the promise that would earn her the aforementioned accolades. iTunes is here to mesmerize you with Nadia and her torchy track, Mesmerized, from 2021.
You got me thinking about you all the time. You know I'm really about to lose my mind on you. Suddenly, I'm feeling the vibe with you. You got me mesmerized.
Back-to-back tracks from 2021 on iTunes. This one is Outsider from Russell Louder. Though from the island, Russell now calls Montreal home, and their music is admittedly influenced by Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, Laurie Anderson, and Peter Gabriel. Russell's latest effort is the album Fair Weather, which came out last year, but it's from their previous album Humor that this song was pulled. There's nothing funny about that debut record, however, in that it has got a ton of airplay on college campus radio stations across Canada and was long listed for the prized Polaris Music Prize. Outsider? I don't think so. If Russell's music draws from the 80s, this next artist had music recorded in the 80s. Well, by default. Summerside native Allan Rankin can trace his musical roots to being a member of the island band The Troubadours in 1970, and his 1996 debut album New Branches earned a special heritage award by the PEI Museum and Heritage Foundation. That's not surprising when you consider Allan was trained as an historian and museum curator. He was also an outspoken writer for the Eastern Graphic, with one opinion piece saying, well, I'll just tell you. Quote, "Have you ever noticed that Charlottetown people find it difficult to leave their metropolis? The distance to any rural location seems intimidating and formidable, almost like a cross-Canada expedition. Drop the sweater off when you're in town is the city dweller's expectation, not I'll drive out and pick up the sweater. The highways connecting rural Prince Edward Island to the capital city seem to go in only one direction, and our government has encouraged that one-way traffic with policies that make it increasingly difficult to live in rural communities east and west." Unquote. Seems Allan's mic drop take on the state of roads and PEI goes back pretty far, as evidenced by this recording featured on an LP put out by the Island Folk Festival in 1985, on which he focuses on a road sign common to islanders this time of year, which the stack of repair bills for my own car can attest to. Paving the way for a cheeky bit of truth, this is Rough Pavement by Allan Rankin on iTunes.
Oh, they say on the island potato is king. They load them on freighters, the wharf lines they sing. Ah, but I know another whose kingdom abounds. They call him Jack Frostbump, he's always around, singing slow down boys beware. Rough pavement, slow down and beware. In springtime the potholes occur everywhere. Oh, that black roller coaster will kill me, I swear. You can scramble an egg, count your change in midair. On rough pavement, boys beware. Now they put Jimmy Snowy to work on the road. Somebody's laughing. To test the hot asphalt and count up the loads. Oh, he'd make a sharp foreman if only he would stop taking the flag girls on tours in the woods, singing slow down boys beware. Rough pavement, slow down and beware. In springtime the potholes occur everywhere. Oh, that black roller coaster will kill me, I swear. You can scramble an egg, count your change in midair. On rough pavement, boys beware. Now old Harry Thompson survived the Great War in Belgium and Flanders in the infantry corps. But when he takes his Pontiac out in the spring, he swears he's right back in the trenches again, singing slow down boys beware. Rough pavement, slow down and beware. In springtime the potholes occur everywhere. Oh, that black roller coaster will kill me, I swear. You can scramble an egg, count your change in midair. On rough pavement, boys beware. Now I drove to the mainland the first of the week, but the roads were so smooth they put me to sleep. My wife's not accustomed to such a smooth trip, so we pulled the car over and we followed the ditch, singing slow down boys beware. Rough pavement, slow down and beware. In springtime the potholes occur everywhere. Oh, that black roller coaster, it'll kill me, I swear. You can scramble an egg, count your change in midair. On rough pavement, boys, beware. Thank you.
Allan Rankin, unwittingly proving that not much has changed on the island's roadways in 40 years with his selection Rough Pavement on iTunes. Although the literal vinyl record came out in 1985, the Island Folk Festival recorded all its 15 tracks at the festival held November 6, 1982 at the West Isle Composite High School's Theater in Elmsdale. Not sure why the 3-year delay, but perhaps the fact that they had to pare down over 6 hours of recorded material to make a 45-minute album had something to do with it. Still to come, Peter Richards tells us why his favorite number is 59, Pearly Gates takes some musical safety measures, and another iTunes flashback interview with Guernsey Co's very own Gordon Belsher. The June bugs are out in force, but hopefully they won't dive bomb or photobomb the following artists playing the province in the immediate future. You won't be bugging with this list of gigs to dig across Prince Edward Island. Today, Sunday, May 26th, it's Fiddler's Sons at West River United in Cornwall. Thursday, May 30th, Island Jazz, Harmony Wagner and Rob Drew are at Baba's Lounge. Friday, May 31st, it's Ladies of the Canyon featuring Brielle Ansems, Joss Rayome, Alicia Toner, and Keelan Wedge. They are all at Harmony House in Hunter River, and this show has repeat performances on June 1st, 7th, and 8th. Saturday, June 1st, Somewhere Soon, Stephen Hero and Jacob Redden and the Striped Shirt Band are at Howie's Loft. Looking into June 2nd, Rick Sparks and Danny Druin are at the Albert and Crown Pub in Alberton. June 15th, it's the Jailbirds with Heather and Sticky Honey at Hunter's Ale House. Jen Grant with Tanya Davis are at Surrey Show Hall in Surrey, also on the 15th. And June 23rd, Rick Sparks and Danny Druin are back, this time at the Lone Oak Brewing Company in Borden.
Hey there, everybody. This is Kelly Mooney broadcasting to you from iTunes.
If I had a time machine, I'd jump on board and turn the key, dial it into 59 and leave it there. Connie Francis and Brenda Lee would live on either side of me. We'd stack the records up and let the needle fall. Endless summer, I wander off and get lost in a neighborhood of blue swimming pools. Elvis Aaron Presley, he's serving time in the U.S. Army. He's having fun, never fired a gun. All the wars are won. was 5 by 5, but they beat him with a blackjack when he refused to talk. I'd find a chair next to the stage, and no one cares to ask my age. I step outside at daybreak, sleep in the park, sing the blues for Lady Day and Lester Young. The life is over, but the love lives on and on. Life's sweet song. If I had a time machine, I'd zero in on the time between the day we met and the day you left so suddenly. A single day beside the lake, a perfect tan and no mistakes. 2 guitars, a campfire, and the northern lights. Hopeless dreamers wander off and get lost in the mystery of what will be, will be. Endless seekers roam the earth till they find a good reason to move along. They're as good as gone when nothing's wrong.
The year that Barbie made her debut, Buddy Holly died, and Disney released Sleeping Beauty. 59. 19, not 18. And this musical DeLorean trip is courtesy of Peter Richards on iTunes. That's from his 2015 album, All the Women Were Dancing, and it's one of only 2 tracks where Peter provides lead vocals. Other singers on the collection include Megan Blanchard, Nudie, John Connolly, Amanda Jackson, and many more. Peter was inspired by a kitchen party where a flock of females were up and moving and kept moving. So he wrote an entire album of music meant for women to dance to, hence its title. It shouldn't be surprising that Peter recorded his own music, not after creating PEI's arts and entertainment magazine The Buzz in 1993, which he helmed until retiring in 2018. Now his son Yannick sits in the publisher's chair. The quartet of Mark Palmer, Colin Buchanan, Roger Carter, and Chris Francis got together during the initial days of COVID, and well, what else are you going to do when there's a lockdown? Like many creative people in that period, having the extra time gave birth to a slew of projects, and for these guys, it was enough time to develop a more analog style, one of tweed and tubes, as Mark said it in an interview. And there's definitely a 60s surfer vibe to the whole affair. The band is Pearly Gates, and after putting out 3 singles to presumably test the waters, they last summer dropped their first full album, For Your Amusement, to much island acclaim. Sure, all 3 of those singles ended up on the collection. That happens now. And here's one of them for your pearly pleasure. First released in 2022, this is Measure of Safety from Pearly Gates on iTunes, your musical safe space. Tunes bringing you Pearly Gates and Measure of Safety. Though whether that measure is in centimeters, inches, or parsecs, I couldn't tell you. Last August, when I uploaded the first episode of this podcast after several months of planning and development, I can hardly believe this is episode 42 already, I certainly didn't envision my second interview guest being such an island heavyweight. His daughter and son-in-law are friends of mine, and both have been known to record and perform with him. And when I sat down in front of a microphone in his studio and found out his first band opened for The Who, well, can you say humbled, boys and girls? I knew you could. Who else could I be talking about but Gordon Belsher, and it is he who is being revisited in this
isletunes flashback.
Speaking of island events, my guest this week is one. I could attempt to summarize his almost 60-year career, but it would take up the entire podcast. From his first band in 1964 to touring around the world, from group albums to solo albums to recording 120 albums for other artists, from his 2014 Music PEI Lifetime Achievement Award to his most recent album, Aging Gracefully, this man shows no signs of slowing down. And live from his Guernsey Cove studios, it's none other than Gordon Belsher. Gordon, I'm truly honored to have you here on iTunes.
Well, thanks an awful lot. Good to be here.
And we have something in common besides our fondness for your daughter, Savannah, who's one of my favorite people here. But you went to the North Alberta Institute of Technology to study radio and TV arts.
Yes, back in the early 70s.
Nice. In the late 80s, I was at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, ironically in Florida, learning the exact same thing. Of course, both radio and TV have changed a lot since we studied it.
Exactly, yeah.
No more reel-to-reels for us. Now, your first instrument was the accordion when you were a little boy.
That's right.
Did you ever think that it would lead to all this?
Who could have known it at age 7 to age 12 playing the accordion? But what happened then is when I got to be 12, the Beatles came along and there wasn't room for an accordion in a rock and roll band then.
Yeah, I could see that. Although you could have started a trend. Now, you and your band, The Heat, opened for The Who in 1968,
yes.
year before I was born. You were 18, right? 17, 18?
17,
okay.
Yeah.
What must that have been like as a teenager?
Oh, man, of course it was over the moon. And then looking back now, like they themselves were in their early 20s.
Oh, wow.
You know, they were only like 5 years older than us.
But they must have seemed like...
Yeah, they were
super adults.
They were gods to us,
right?
You know.
That too.
They still are. Pete Townsend and Roger are still doing the things.
Yeah, and so are you.
Yeah,
so you're in very good company there. You visited PEI in 1974, correct?
74. My Charlene, my wife, her mom's from Summerside.
Oh, okay.
So we came down to visit her grandparents, and that was it for me. I just fell in love with it.
That was it for you. Yeah, that's how it happens. You moved here in 78, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What inspired you to move here? You just fell in love with it?
Yeah. Well, as I say, I fell in love with it in 74, and then we were back again in 77, and thought, let's look for a little piece of property. And found this one in Guernsey Cove.
And you've been here ever since?
Yeah.
The studio itself, how long has that been here?
We were recording on a little 2-track back in the early 80s. And then it gradually just evolved, and I ended up getting a 16-track analog and then changing to digital.
How did you make the transition from recording your own projects to recording other artists' projects?
The first project was for a choir, and I just took my 4-track up to the church, and we recorded that, and I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. And then recorded another singer, and then it eventually, when I got to the 16-track, then I had to make it worthwhile. So I started recording other artists, and it's been great.
How would you say your own music has evolved over the years?
Wow. I started out playing rock and roll, of course, in the 60s. Really British influence there. The British groups of the 60s, like The Who and the Beatles and the Kinks and the Yardbirds, and like definitely the British invasion kind of thing. And we were always around campfires and stuff. We'd do folk music, and we saw Bruce Cockburn in the 70s in Edmonton, and I go, oh, that's pretty cool. And then Ryan's Fancy and Irish Rovers. So when we moved down to PEI, we thought, well, we'll do a little bit more folky music. So and it's evolved ever since that. And now it's pretty eclectic, everything that we do.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you started with an accordion, and now you've got this wide range of instruments that you do, and different styles in your music, which is awesome. As I mentioned, you're like Johnny Cash. You've been everywhere. You've played across Canada and the States and England, Denmark, Belgium, Australia. Excluding Canada, what has been your favorite place to play?
I'd say probably Denmark.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was just there last year, actually,
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, it was magical to go to Australia for sure. That was a bucket list thing for me. And I like going to New England and the States too, but Denmark would definitely be the highlight.
What is next? I mean, can we expect another album in the not too distant future? Maybe a greatest hits or a best of?
Well, that's kind of what the Aging Gratefully was all about. I had half a dozen new songs that I wanted to put on a recording, so I did that. And I thought, well, what am I going to fill the rest of it with? So I used things from the past, going right back.
Might as well, and it fits perfectly. See what I get for not doing all my homework? I'm getting a B- for this assignment. Of course, if you want to know more about Gordon's storied history, he has a very well documented story on his website, guernseycove.ca. Thank you, Gordon.
Thanks a lot.
I was lucky enough to be able to interview an island legend like Gordon, so let's keep the luck going with his classic track, Lucky Star, on Isle Tunes.
To have more than your share of good fortune, you really don't have to look very far. For all of the love, if it comes from above, just thank your lucky star. Well, I've met some of my heroes, shared some whiskey, shared some beer. Oh, I can tell you that most of it's been grand. If I had just one day to live, I know that I would give her singing songs and playing in the band. Well, I've been to lots of places, put some smiles upon some faces, and it seems no matter wherever I roam, doing everything it takes and forgiving some mistakes, taking chances, chasing dreams, then coming home. To have more than your share of good fortune, you really don't have to look very far. For all of the love, if it comes from above, just thank your lucky star. All of my best friends, man and beast, they're the main course of this feast. My comrades, buddies, pals, even foes. For fathers and for mothers, for sisters and for brothers, there is none that is more valuable than those. And if all you are is healthy, I know you'll be more wealthy than the richest man on earth with all his greed. In this life the sweetest water, a loving wife, 2 precious daughters, are all this man could ever really need. To have more than my share of good fortune, I really don't have to look very far. For all of the love, if it comes from above, I thank my lucky star. Yeah, to have more than your share of good fortune, you really don't have to look very far for all of the love, if it comes from above. Just thank your lucky star. And I thank my lucky star.
That is Lucky Star. No, not Madonna's Lucky Star. I can't see this guy rolling around on the floor. I mean by Gordon Belsher, and you're hearing it on iTunes. The song must be a lucky charm of sorts for Gordon because it features on both his 2006 Call Up All the Neighbors album and again on 2008's I'm Not Old Yet. Not to mention it features on his freshly released Sharing Good Fortune live album, recorded just last month during his U.S. tour through Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. And that 23-track collection is available on his website, guernseycove.ca. Also, don't miss Gordon as he once again embarks on his Back Home Tonight series of summer concerts at the Women's Institute Hall in Stanley Bridge, starting on June 24th and running through September 16th. If you'd like to see the full video interview conducted with Gordon at his Guernsey Cove studio, that's up on Patreon, where for $5 a month you can get access to videos with all kinds of island artists, plus some live performances. That's through patreon.com/isletunes, and every penny goes toward the production of this podcast. The same is true for fundage donated through PayPal. The link for that is in the description of this episode wherever you're listening to it, and on isletunes.ca. Said website is also where you can find links to where you can buy the music of the artists featured in each episode. And if that's not enough, the same links are provided on iTunes' Facebook and Instagram pages. Come like 'em. Each of these here episodes kicks off with an Islanderism, a phrase you'd only hear on PEI. This week's entry was provided by Jackie Robichaux, but you can open a show with your own. Just record yourself uttering one and send it to amj@isletunes.ca or leave it on a voicemail at 902-807-4250. These are also the ways to contact me if you have comments about the show, you want to make a suggestion or request. And hey, if you're a PEI artist who wants to get your stuff played on the show, get in touch, would ya? Musical contribution to the iTunes theme by Kayla McCauley and John Hashem. Show concept by Rocky O'Neill. Coordination assistance by Jackie Robichaux. I'm Adam Michael James, and that's going to do it for another episode of iTunes. Until next Sunday, anyway. I know there's a lot of programming out there, both audio and visual, vying for your attention, and that's what makes me appreciate it that much more that you've taken an hour-ish out of your day to listen to this podcast that's all island content. I'm happy to bring it to y'all. I'll be even happier if you tell your friends and family about it to help get iTunes into more ears from Tignish to Murray Harbor. You can't see it, but this is me being happy. Happy! In 7 sleeps, we'll do this all again with another batch of music made by Islanders for Islanders. So, to hold you over until that blessed event arrives, be good. And if you can't be good at it. See yous next week.